Hey, welcome back to J-Rig Barbecue. I'm Jason. Today we're talking fire management on the Oklahoma Joes offset. If you've been struggling holding your temps over long cooks, say over 8 to 10 hours or more, this video is for you because we're going to give you the fundamentals of how to maintain proper temperature and proper smoke levels and proper airflow within your firebox here throughout the whole entire cook. So we're going to be using B&B lump charcoal to get our fire started, and we're going to get ourselves a good bed of coals in there. And then we're using Smoky Woods hickory. The Smoky Woods product is really nice because they're cut very small, like less than 12 inches, and about this big around. They're pretty consistent all the way through. So stay tuned. Let's get the smoker rolling. Okay, right here you're going to notice that I do not use the firebox in mine. I love the V method. So if you don't know what the V method is, it's basically the smoker comes with 3 grates, one for the bottom to hold the charcoal, the other 2 or one's for the to cook on inside the firebox, and then you've got some other ones for if you want to cook and put charcoal inside the cook chamber. You can use this as a grill as well. So I take those 3 and I form a V. I put one flat in the bottom of the firebox and then create a V with the other 2. Just gives you a little more airflow underneath, helps you keep the fire bed or the bed of coals and everything going throughout the cook, and just generally makes it work out better. You get better airflow throughout the firebox. All right, immediately you're going to notice that my charcoal is already in the firebox. I do not like using the chimney, even though I have one for this, because there's no need. I've got this, and this gets it going pretty quickly on its own. So let's get this thing started. And in basically under a minute, your charcoals are going. You can see there's smoke coming out. I may have to hit it again in a minute, but you can see those charcoals on the right side here are already white. So if you can get those going, the rest will catch as well. Now all we do is wait for the coals to get ready. You can see there's a flame in the bottom. I mean, that lighter, I'm going to, or that torch, I'm going to link a link in the bottom for it. I just got it off Amazon. It's the brand is Blue, BLUU, and it's one of the best, I'll tell you. This is it right here. Pretty darn good. And you'll notice I have this bin down here, right here below the firebox. I have that because I have a wood deck, and if one of the coals falls out, I don't want to go on the wood deck. I like to go in there, and it's stainless steel top. Also, I do not control the airflow with this panel anymore under here. I just do it with the door because the handle broke off of it, and it's sort of seized shut with some rust because it's had lots of usage, as you can tell over the years. There's a little rust here, a little here. You know, it's just what happens with these smokers. And I don't want to buy a new one. So this one's well seasoned, pretty much taking care of it. It sits out here in the weather all the time. I do have a cover for it, so sometimes I'll cover it up, but I cover it definitely in the wintertime. Otherwise, it stays out here in nature. All right, we're starting to get those coals. They're turning white a little bit, and it looks like the whole pile is basically caught. I'm just going to shut this cook chamber side down because it doesn't really matter. It's going to get some airflow anyway. So just leave it shut down. It can start building up a little heat inside, even though a lot is not going to go in there yet, but it can start warming up. And today's cook is going to be a brisket. I'm going to do I'm not going to wrap this brisket. It's going to be a boat style, so keep an eye out for that video. It'll be coming up soon also. So keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be a good one. I've got some of my own rub that I'm going to use on it. It's the first time I'm using that particular rub, so I'm really excited to try it out. Right now, I think we're approaching about 8 minutes since the charcoals first started getting lit, and we've got a decent bed down there building. Once those, you can see those dark ones on the left side, once they start lightening up a little bit and get a little more gray, I'm going to dump a little more charcoal in there because I want this to be a solid bed of coals underneath here once these get going, because that's going to help us to have a cleaner burning cook. All right, now I'm going to get some more in there. Close this down, and I'm going to let that get going. A little farther, you're going to notice that I'm going to keep this door right over here wide open for right now. And right now it looks like our temperature inside the inside the cook chamber is 218 and climbing a little bit just since I closed that. It's going to climb a lot more, probably get up to around 3 something. And then I'll start controlling the airflow with this door right here. And then I'll add wood splits. I'll start adding wood splits as well. All right, now that we've gotten the Oklahoma Joe up to, it was up to 350. I closed down the damper. It's back down to about 289. I just put on the first split of hickory, and you can see it's producing some smoke right now, and we're at about 262. So we're going to be ready in probably about 5 to 10 minutes to start putting our meat on. So right now I would guess we're probably about a half hour into warming up the grill, preheating, getting the smoke rolling, all that good stuff. So about a half hour it takes to get this ready. All right, as you can tell, my door is not all the way closed. I just have it closed a tiny bit to let a little bit of oxygen in. We are running about 267. I really want to get that down a little lower before I put the meat on. Closer 225, 230-ish is where I really want to be. So I'm going to see if I can't close that damper down a little more and then get it closer to that 230 mark. You can see we've got some pretty decent smoke going in here now. In my opinion, it's still a little dark, but we can work with it for a little while. You can see it coming out of the smokestack here. It's still just a hair dark because I just put that wood split on. So we'll let that get going. I may put another one on here in a minute, just so we can get some good smoke flavor going in the brisket when we put it on. All right, now we're up to temp here on the Oklahoma Joe. You can see I've got one split in there of the hickory so far. I'm gonna add another one in a minute, and we're gonna go ahead and start cooking. All right, it's been right at 2 hours. Other than like one temperature spike where we went like 261, we've been in the 245 to 250 range. So I'd say the fire's going pretty good right now. It's a little, I just put in another piece of wood so you can see the smoke. It's starting to catch a little bit, but that's normal. It's not as blue as I want it to be. So yeah, I had to cut the airflow down a hair, so it's common for it to do that for a little bit, but then it'll straighten itself out and it'll be fine. You can see our coal bed is still pretty good. I might get in there in a minute with the tongs and kind of stir it up a little bit and kind of spread it out. All right, it's now been right at about 4 hours. I'm sorry, 4 hours since we started this cook, and let's check on this this firebox here. We have kept it. Right now it's 255, and you can see what we're doing here. Still got good fire going. I'm gonna shut it back down so it doesn't get too much oxygen. But right there, 255. All right, guys. It's now been about 6 hours. So you can see that is just barely open, maybe 1/8 of an inch. This fire still going well, and I have no extension. I have no like fancy modifications, no nothing. And this Oklahoma Joe runs like a dream right now. So and that's on 6 hours, and all I've done so far is I'll feed it some of the hickory sticks. You can see the size of the wood here. Basically those are the splits. I just drop one in when it looks low, and then I let it run. Right now it's 247, and it's I'm gonna post a chart on here of what my temps have been throughout this whole entire cook, so you can see the graph, and I'll also post a graph of the meat temp too, as it has trended upward. All right, right now we are looking at being like 7 hours in on this cook, and let's check out the firebox. All right, we still got a solid bed of coals in there, and we're cranking like around 220 right now. So that's 7 hours. Still working on same bed of coals, and I've just been adding wood every hour. So we'll check it again towards the end of the cook. All right, this the fire management video. It helps with fire management if you're awake. So I'm gonna post a graph right over here that shows basically this was a 12-hour cook for this brisket, and yeah, I fell asleep at about 10:30 and then didn't wake up until about 11:35, so that was an hour, and the fire had died down to about 160. Luckily we only lost about 3 degrees temperature in our brisket, but we lost a ton of heat in our fire, so I had to basically, luckily there were a ton of coals left in there, but basically I had to get the wood back going and build the fire back up to around 250, and then I raised the temp, because right after that we hit the stall in the brisket. So I raised it up to about 285 and pushed on through, and then we wrapped it. So I'm going to put some more pictures in here for the fire management video, for you to look at, some graphs that'll show. It shows exactly where I fell asleep, but basically the temperature on the fire was held pretty consistently until I fell asleep, and then we bumped up the fire to catch back up. But you can easily control the heat on these offsets, and it's not real hard at all.